Hello everyone, welcome to the Strategy Meeples YouTube channel. I'm Kapil and today we are continuing with our series analyzing the games from this tournament, Castles of Burgundy, Experts and Above. So today we are looking at a game between Pobedil, OFC and Sorry I'm Like This. It's like Sam from the No Wonders YouTube channel. So this is a game that was played on board number 8 and identical board for both players, first edition of the game. So let's get into the game. Okay, so OFC decides to start at the bottom right with their castle, and Sorry I'm Like This does it over there as well. And yeah, just to give a high level overview of board number 8, this is a pretty good spot to start the game because you have a lot of connections to this water, to this single mine. You just need one animal to get to this castle. You can get a building and get to this water. A really good spot to start the game. High level strategy for this board, I would say, like you definitely want to complete your animals or contest animals. You really want that first mine. After that, these two mines are optional. You don't really need to push for them. Same thing with the yellow tiles. Like I think in many of my games, I'll only finish one of these yellow regions, not both. So that's more situational. Like if you're going for animals, you don't need to finish both. But if you're getting blocked on animals or you cannot finish your animals, then you want to try to aim to complete your yellows. The buildings are really good on this board, but it's all on like the outer edges. So you need to get like good die roll to get connection to those buildings. So most of the cases I'll end the game with maybe like 2 or 3 of these dual level buildings not completed. Yeah, in some games you would be able to, but in most games I don't focus that much on buildings. Okay, but let's see how these players play this game. So both the players roll a 4 and a 3. So OFC, actually, Sorry I'm Like This is player 1. So I wonder what they are going to do. I think they should get the ship. And with the 3, do they want the market? Because they could also sell goods and get a mine. Oh, they could sell good and get the other ship. Yeah, they could get both the ship this way. And then OFC could get a mine from here maybe. And maybe they could go for yellow tile number 13. That's really strong. So let's see what happens. Okay, so Sorry I'm Like This does go for both the ships. Oh, and OFC is actually picking up animals right from the get-go. So that is interesting. Okay, so 3 and a 6 for Sorry I'm Like This, and OFC has a 6 and a 6. Okay, so they pick up a church, place the church, get the mine. That's really strong, I think, because you're one building away from completing this region of 2 in phase A. That'll give you a lot of points, plus you're taking away this mine from your opponent. Even though they have a bank and will definitely get the other mine, you're still making it hard for them to get it from the board. Okay, let's look at OFC. Oh, and by the way, if you're making them spend 2 silver to get the mine, then you're also putting them in a tough spot because they have to decide if they want to go for this mine or if they want to go for these 4 matching animals. Okay. So they take water with the 1, and I believe they probably just want to place the water. Get an extra turn over here. Okay, OFC is 1 and 1, and Sorry I'm Like This is 5 and a 6. Okay, with the 1, they place the bank. So they are at 3 silver now. Let's see what they'll buy. I think they should just buy the mine here, and they can place the mine. And then they could still sell the 1, maybe. Oh no, place the mine, yeah. Okay. Sorry I'm Like This with a 6 and a 5. So I think they can place their water pretty easily. With the 5, they could get tile number 2 if they want it. Or just take workers, that's fine too. Okay, 3 and a 3 for OFC, and sorry I'm like this with the 1 and a 3, and they're player 1. So let's see what they do with 1 and a 3. Okay, they place the mine and they pick up a market. Okay. And OFC with the 3 and a 3. So they sell goods with the 3. I think that allows them to buy the other sheep. And they also pick up yellow tile number 13. Okay. So really filling up their storage over here with just 2 actions left in the game. But at least they have 2 matching pair of animals that can be really strong on this board. Okay, sorry I'm like this with 4 and 6, and OFC with 5 and 6. Okay, so sorry I'm like this sells goods and takes workers, so they are at 4 workers, 1 silver, and they already have a mine, so they'll go into phase B with 4 silver and 2 mines. I mean 2 silver. No, they'll go into the new round with 4 workers and 2 silver. Okay, that's a really strong position. OFC has a 6 and a 5. They did not roll that good. If they want to place the animal, they could with the 5, but then they'll have to take workers with the other one. I think another option for them is to take workers and place yellow tile number 13. So let's see what they decide to do. Okay, so they do place the sheep and then probably just take workers. Okay. Okay, it's phase B, and some really interesting tiles have showed up on the board. So sorry I'm like this as player 1. They roll a 2 and a 3, and OFC is player 2 and they roll a 5 and a 1. Okay, so sorry I'm like this. Let's see what they want to do. I think they can just place their market over here. I would even probably just pick up the animals, because I don't want to let my opponent get away with all these sheep. So I would start contesting them, and maybe with the 3 you can pick up the other water, and you can still buy like yellow tile number 15 from the black market. That seems pretty strong. So okay, so they do let their opponent get away with the sheep if they want to, which I don't think is the best move here. They do need 2 water, okay. Okay, so let's see what OFC does. They have a 5 and a 1 over here. If they do want the sheep, they will have to spend 2 workers to get them. I probably would actually, I would just get the sheep with the 5, and with the 1 I could even place yellow tile number 13 over here. Seems good to me. Or, okay, they decide to sell the goods and take a water. Okay, so they are deciding to jump ahead in turn order, which is also a strong move. That's also giving them instant connection to this castle. Yep. Okay, 5 and a 6 for them. So unfortunately for them, they did not roll a good roll to be able to pick up the sheep. Okay, so with the 6, they go ahead and place yellow tile number 13. And with the 5, I would probably just pick up a mine here. Okay, so they pick up the other water with the 5. The 6, they take workers. So this is a really interesting move, because by picking up this water, what they have done is they've forced sorry I'm like this to hold on to both these waters till the last turn of this phase. Because if they place any water, they're going to become player 1, and then OFC can still just hold on to the single water till the end of the phase and jump ahead in turn order. So by picking up this water, they have now blocked off these 2 storage spaces from their opponent. And sorry I'm like this only has 1 space to work with for the rest of the round. Okay, this is something to note. Okay, so let's see what they do with a 4 and a 2. Okay, so they pick up this tile for the bank and place it immediately. Okay. And OFC is player 1, so they have a 3 and a 2, and their opponent has 4 and a 5. Yeah, I would definitely want to pick up these sheep right now. So I think with the 2, maybe just place yellow tile number 13, and with the 3, pick up the sheep. That seems pretty strong. Oh, they actually go for a castle here. Okay, that's interesting. I guess they are not as worried about sorry I'm like this blocking them on these sheep. Okay, so what is sorry I'm like this doing? They take a tile with the 4, they pick up the bank, and then they place the bank immediately, and then they buy the watchtower. I don't think this is a very strong move because, yeah, like I said earlier, they only have this one space to work with, because if they place any of this water, they won't be able to go as player 1 into phase C. I think what they should have done instead is they should have gotten these sheep away from their opponent, because these sheep are really strong. It's a matching tile. It's a matching animal pair for their opponent, so I would have highly prioritized getting it. Okay, so 1 and a 4 for OFC. That's a really good roll. They can just place the castle, pick up these animals, place them. Yeah, they're just doing really good. So they place it over there by spending a worker instead of over here, because they want a connection to that water. Plus they have yellow tile number 13, which is really strong for getting them a lot of silver. That's also another reason they don't need to prioritize the mine as heavily, because this tile can give them a lot of silver. They just have to take a lot of worker actions, but that's totally fine. Okay, so sorry I'm like this with a 2 and a 4. They can place the water and become player 1, and then they'll get a double turn. Let's see if they want to do that. Okay, so they take workers and they add the watchtower to the board. Yeah, I don't think getting the watchtower was a really strong move, just because like there's no rush. You don't have a bonus for the watchtower. You shouldn't really be fighting for buildings because your opponent is completely ignoring buildings. So you should be competing with them on the regions that they are focusing on. And right now it's animals and water and castles. Yeah, another downside of this now is that since they did not take any workers in the last turn, they cannot place both their water. So even if they wanted to, they cannot go as player 1 into the new round, whereas OFC can take workers and they can place this water. So they will most likely do that and jump ahead in turn order. So I think that was a mistake by sorry I'm like this. Okay, sorry I'm like this with 1 and a 3. So they can place 1 water, but they, like I said, they cannot place both. And that's a really good round, like for both these players. Like a lot of animals showed up. There's 3 water on the board. You have yellow tile number 5, you have yellow tile number 20. So let's see what these players want to go for. Okay, let's see if I was playing as OFC, what I would do. I think I would definitely want to go for the sheep. With the 5, maybe I want to go for a water here. I don't know, with the 3, maybe another castle. Or maybe should I go for 2 water and pick up an animal? Okay, let's see what move was played. Okay, so a castle was picked up with the 3. Castle was played with the 5. Water was picked up. And then I believe, so let's see, do they pick up a ship or do they pick up a sheep here? I should just call it water. Ship and sheep. No. Water or sheep. What do they go for? Okay, they do go for the sheep. Okay, that's a very strong move because they have room for 2 more and that's just a lot of points for them. Sorry, I'm like this with a 2 and a 3. So if they want to, sorry, I'm like this can pick up both these waters and guarantee themselves to go as player 1 into the new round, but do they really want to do that? Let's find out. So they are heavily rushing for water. Now, usually water is a really strong tile, but in this case, it's not looking that lucrative to me because you're giving your opponent a lot of freedom. You're letting them pick up all the animals that they want in the world. They have the perfect yellow tile to generate silver. They are doing really good on their castles, and connectivity wise, they are doing really good too. So I wouldn't prioritize the water this heavily. If I was sorry, I'm like this. I think just letting OFC get away with all these animals might hurt them a lot. Because technically, OFC doesn't even need to wait for the sheep. They can just try to get another pair of animals, just hold it as a backup. They don't need to place it. You can just take it into the new round. And then if sheep don't show up, you can just place them. That way you don't get blocked. But yeah, they're in a really strong position right now. So they place a sheep, and with the other 2, let's see what they do. With the other 2, they place the other sheep. Okay. So now they've cleared up 2 spaces on their board. Sorry, I'm like this with a 5 and a 4. So they can definitely place both the water here if they want to. Question is, do they want to? Okay, so they place 1 and they pick up the town hall with the 5. All right. Okay, so let's see. OFC with the 1 and a 3. And sorry, I'm like this with the 4 and a 6. I would maybe even take the chicken here, like I said, just to get closer to completing the animals. The warehouse is really powerful too. So let's see. Oh yeah, sorry, I'm like this is going as player 1. So they sell a good, they place the town hall, they place the water, they pick up 2 goods. I guess they only pick up the 6, good number 6. All right. And OFC with the 1 and a 3. So they pick up the warehouse and they place the warehouse. Okay. That allows them to sell some goods. Okay. So 3 and a 6 for sorry, I'm like this, and 2 and a 6 for OFC. Yeah, I would probably. Yeah, I don't know if they can even block OFC on animals at this point. I think it's too late. I think they're prioritizing the buildings and yellows heavily in this game. So they placed the church, picked up yellow tile number 20. Okay, OFC with a 2 and a 6. Take workers with the 6 and take workers with the 2. All right. That gives them 2 silver too because of this yellow tile number 13. Okay, 3 and a 6 for both the players as the final 2 actions in phase C. Okay, sorry, I'm like this. Places the water, takes workers, places the water. And OFC is picking up a mine. And they place a water. picking up this stack of 2 goods. I'm actually a little surprised that they didn't pick up another, like a single set of animals. I think they should buy the pigs maybe. I don't know. Okay, so they do pick up 1 set of pigs. And yeah, so it's phase D, 3 sets of animals on the board. The yellow tiles are just not great. Like, these are all utility tiles, and if you saw the TLS video that I posted earlier, these tiles are strongest in like the earlier phases of the game, and they drop in value in the later stages of the game. So I probably wouldn't want to pick up any of these tiles. But Sorry I'm Like This actually is kind of forced to go for these tiles because it seems like they are trying to complete their yellows. So they still need to pick up these tiles even though they are not that good. Just something to note. And since they did not work on any of their animals, like, it'll be really hard for them to pivot towards an animal, because even if they picked up, they cannot, but even if they could for some reason pick up all 3 animals, they still would have to really rely on 3 animals showing up in the last phase to pick all 3 of them up. Which is not easy because OFC could just pick up both the water and then you're blocked from going as player 1 into the new round. So, but yeah, anyways, 1 and a 5 for Sorry I'm Like This. Okay, so they do buy the pigs this time from the black market. They pick up the castle and then they place the castle, picking up a water. So this will guarantee that they go into the last round as player 1. And OFC with a 1 and a 1 over here. Okay, so they buy the church. They place the church. They pick up the mine. And they pick up a market over here. Okay. Sorry I'm Like This with a 2 and a 3, and OFC with a 1 and a 2. Okay. So they place the pigs, they take workers, and OFC with the 1 and a 2. Okay, they place the market. They pick up the chickens. With the 1, they just place the mine. And they buy a carpenter's workshop. So you can see them starting to buy buildings from the black market now, and that's another point I would like to make. As you start going towards the later stages of the game, you want to start, like, buildings increase in value because it helps with completion bonuses, and you have like a surplus of silver that you can spend on. So it becomes easier to buy these buildings and get those small bonus points compared to doing that in the earlier stages of the game when it can be when it can lose you a lot of tempo. Okay, so Sorry I'm Like This with a 5 and a 1, and OFC with a 6 and a 2. Okay, Sorry I'm Like This picks up a warehouse, places it, sells some goods. And OFC places the carpenter's workshop. I think they could just go for a market. Yeah, they could go for a market, place the market, pick up a water. Seems good. Okay, last 4 turns of this round. Sorry I'm Like This with a 6 and a 3. They really want to place this water because this is like a big stack of goods. Whoever gets it. Even this one is pretty good for OFC. Okay. So Sorry I'm Like This picks up a church, places it, gets connection to this water, and picks up that yellow tile like I mentioned. They do want these yellow tiles now because they have committed to completing their yellows. And OFC with a 3 and a 4. They sell some goods, they place a water, they get this triple stack, and they get to go again. So they roll a 1 and a 2. And sorry, I'm like this with a 2 and a 4. Okay, so with the 2, they place the pigs, and with the 1, they should just take workers. Okay. And I probably wouldn't even buy anything. You don't need to buy anything here. Sorry, I'm like this with a 2 and a 4. So they definitely want to complete their water. Okay. And then they also place yellow tile number 20, which is bonuses for markets. OFC actually did a pretty good job of blocking them on getting these 2 markets in the previous phase. Alright, so final phase of the game. There's 3 water that showed up. If you look at the animals, this is the most important tile in the game right now for OFC, because it's 3 plus 3 6 plus 4 10 11 12 additional points for them. So if I was sorry I'm like this, I would definitely want to block this tile. I would probably even want to get both the castles. I wonder if they can do that. I think no, they cannot that easily. Yeah, they would have to buy a castle, place it, pick up a castle, place it. I don't think they have the workers to do that. So let's see what happens. Okay, that is wild. They picked up both the castle, but in the process, they are just letting OFC get away with this tile, which is extremely strong. And they're already lagging in points. It's a 14-point difference right now. Okay, so OFC, I think, is just cruising at this point. They just need the sheep on their board. They can totally discard this animal. They don't need it. With the 5, I would even pick up the mine. And with the tile that I want to buy, I could just buy the water, or I could buy the warehouse. I mean, the watchtower. I just have a lot of options if I was OFC. Okay, sorry I'm like this with a 4 and a 6. So like I said, since they did not go for any animals early on and started working on their yellows, they're kind of committed to completing their yellows. The only way that they can do that is like pick up any yellow tile that shows up in the last couple of rounds, and these are not good tiles, like tile number 10 and 11. If you refer to my tier list video, these are like A tier tiles when they show up like in the earlier stages of the game. Picking them up in phase E just for completion purposes, this is like even below B tier, so not strong tiles at all. In terms of utility, it's still giving you completion bonuses, and it's good for that. But you're not getting any value out of these tiles this late in the game. And on top of that, it's just completely blocking your storage. So sorry I'm like this was trying to go for buildings, but with these 3 yellow tiles blocking their storage, I don't think they'll be able to complete these region of buildings either. Whereas OFC just needs to place 1 animal and 1 mine, and then they can do whatever they want. They can pick up a carpenter's workshop. Heck, they could maybe even pick up both the carpenter's workshop and place them to complete 2 additional region of buildings. We'll see if that happens. Okay, so they complete their animals, and that just gives them a huge lead. And with the 5, like I said, with the 5, they can just pick up the carpenter's workshop. Or they could, yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, they decide to go for the watchtower over here. And just immediately place the watchtower, giving them connection to that final water. Okay. Sorry I'm like this with a 4 and a 6, and OFC with a 3 and a 5. So they place the yellow tile, they take workers. OFC with a 3 and a 5. So they complete their mines, and with the 5, so they just take a water, okay. And with the 5, they take workers, okay. Alright, so 3 and a 5 for Sorry I'm Like This, and 4 and a 5 for OFC. So Sorry I'm Like This sell some goods, they complete this region of 4 yellow tiles, and OFC with a 4 and a 5, so they pick up a town hall and then they just place the town hall, also placing their water and picking up some nice goods. Final 2 turns of the game for both these players. Sorry I'm Like This with a 2 and a 5, and OFC with a 1 and a 3. So they sell goods, and I think they just sell again with the 3. Okay, so they end the game with 12 goods sold. That's a lot. And if we look at Sorry I'm Like This, they will just place this yellow tile and probably sell good number 6. And that is it. That is game. OFC wins with 226 points, and Sorry I'm Like This gets 199 points, so it's a 27-point difference. Yeah, let's look at the breakdown for this game. So yeah, 226 for OFC and 199 for Sorry I'm Like This. We quickly go over some stats. So number of take workers action was pretty much the same for both these players, but I think the value for take workers is a lot higher for OFC because they have yellow tile number 13 on their board. Number of sell goods action was almost the same for both these players. It's a little higher in value for Sorry I'm Like This because they have yellow tile number 15 on their board. Number of take tile actions is almost the same. Number of place tiles actions is almost the same. Tile spot is almost the same. Number of reactions is almost the same. Even the points with sold goods is almost the same. And that is because actually OFC got more points because they sold more of the same type of goods. So they ended the game with 12 goods sold, whereas Sorry I'm Like This sold 2 less goods than them. Points with regions is almost the same. So even though OFC completed their animals, Sorry I'm Like This was working on their buildings, castles and other stuff. So it's pretty close. But look at this next one, points with animals. So OFC gets 51 points with animals, whereas Sorry I'm Like This gets only 3 points. So just getting lucky with the animals paid off big time for OFC. Watchtowers is almost the same. Points with bonus tiles is almost the same. Yellow tiles, Sorry I'm Like This does score does have a big advantage over OFC with 30 points compared to 0. But I think the difference from 51 to 3 is a lot more. So OFC scores higher than, like, even though they didn't pick up as many yellow tiles, they still win in terms of scoring in the end because they do pick up a lot of animals and a lot of matching pair of animals on top of that. Okay, points with unsold goods is almost the same. Points with silver, OFC has a little more, again because of yellow tile number 13. Every time they take workers, they get an extra silver. Points with workers, tied. Percentages of doubles rolled. OFC rolled more doubles. But yeah, that is the game. It was an interesting game. I think Sorry I'm Like This really committed hard to the yellows, which I think they should have avoided on this board, especially since they were player 1. They might have had to give up being player 1 just to block them, just to block OFC. But even though OFC was playing as player 2 for most of the game, they did get the freedom to pick up the animals that they wanted and just had a smooth game. But yeah, that's it for this analysis video. If you liked it, please leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this game, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.